Next are two demonstrations. The first one showing creating service accounts using the command line interface. After that, a demonstration showing creating a service account using the graphical interface. When creating a service account from the command line, the first thing we want to do is we want to log into the system. So we use our GD Cloud Auth login. This will pump up the graphical interface. We're going to log in as our application operator user. Once we're authenticated, we then want to make sure that we go through and grab our Kubernetes credentials. So we're doing GD Cloud clusters get credentials, and then we're authenticating to the admin cluster in our organization. Now that we've got our Kubernetes authentication token, we're going to list the projects in the organization. In this organization, I'm currently working with the back-end project, so I'm going to create an environment variable called GDC project. I'm going to set that equal to my backend. This isn't necessarily needed for this, but it will simplify things as we go through this example. I'm also going to specify a service account environment variable, and in this case we're going to call it service DB1. This is going to be a database service account that we're creating. Now that we have our environment variables set, what we're going to do is we're going to use GD Cloud IAM service accounts. We're going to create our service account in our project. We've created our service account. Now I'm going to go list all of the service accounts in this project. There's actually two commands that will let me do this. The GD Cloud IAM service accounts command will allow us to do this. There's also a kubectl command that will allow us to list service accounts in that project as well. So you can use either one. Now that we've got our service account created, we're going to need to assign roles to that service account in order for it to be able to do its activities. So here we're doing an IAM policy binding. We're specifying our project, and we're specifying the role of project DB admin, and then giving the name of our service account. This will associate the DB admin role with the service account. I can then go through and list the role bindings for my service account in that project. And here we see we now have our service account associated with one role that's in the project. Now I have my service account, I've got a role assigned to it. The next thing that I need to do is create a key. So GD Cloud IAM service account keys create. We're specifying an output file of key.json. This will be saved to the local computer. And we're specifying our project. We're specifying our service account name, and the certificate path information is not needed if you properly have the certificate set up on your end user workstation. Now I'm going to actually go and list the contents of that key to show you what the file looks like. And here we actually have the contents of the key base64 encoded in that output file. That's what it looks like. Next, what we can do is we can go and we can list out the keys that are associated. When we list out those keys, it is also going to give us an index, and this index right here is what is going to be needed to delete the key later. Let's say that this account has ended its useful life and we now want to remove the account from the system. There's actually a couple of steps that we need to do for that. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually delete the key. We're going to specify this identifier. And then we're going to specify the project and the service account that it's associated with. So it's asking me if I'm sure that I want to delete that key. I say yes, and now that key is deleted from the system. So I can go through and I want to look at my role bindings. So I want to make sure that I remove all my role bindings from that service account. Then I'll use a kubectl command to actually go through, delete the role binding, specify that we're doing a service account, specifying the project, specifying the name of the service account itself, and then the role that's associated with it. So we've now deleted that role from the service account. And then lastly, we are going to delete the service account itself. GD Cloud IAM service account delete, specifying the name of the service account and specifying the project. Specify yes, and we have it saying that it has deleted it. We're going to go through and we're going to use the kube control command to list service accounts for that project one more time. And notice that it still appears out there. Now in testing, I've noticed that this will actually sit out there sometimes for a couple of minutes before it disappears. Rest assured though that after a short amount of time, it will then be gone. Now the account is gone.